midnight haze, chasing shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall, mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines, aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night, ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal for what we bring it to you. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue you.
Hello. All right. Hello, everybody.
Woo. Man.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. You remember that song?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, tonight we got a great show.
We do.
It's pretty interesting too. Some of you may not have known about it, but it's called the Michigan Triangle.
Yeah. That's this thing right here behind us.
Oh yeah. So we're going to explore some of the anomalies about the Michigan Triangle. But first, let's wait on a few people, see if they come in here.
Let's see. Yeah. Where you at? No, I'm just you know, we're going to be at a few places this year.
Yes, we are.
We're going to be going to some fun times, so you need to keep up with it and come out and see us if you can.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
The first stop is just a couple of weeks away.
I know. We're almost there.
We're going to be at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival, May the 3rd.
This will be our second year there. Last year, it started out as a sloppy mess, but it ended up being a really good, fun time. We will be live podcasting.
Yes.
So you see this will be there.
Maybe not the green screen, but
yeah, we won't have the green screen. You know, it won't be all cool, but you know what? Our old background, our usual background will be back there.
Yeah. Or we could.
So, yeah. We could.
We might make it work.
No, because that needs a green screen.
Oh.
But the tent has that on the background. So, I mean, we'll have it.
So, yeah, that's May the 3rd. Join us. It's on Saturday. Get out and take the kids. And there are going to be a lot of good speakers there.
I know. Yeah, there's going to be Mariah Mayer's going to be there.
Russell
Accord's going to be there. Yeah.
And my favorite, Turtle Man.
Turtle Man's going to be there.
Turtle Man's going to be there.
Yeah.
Live action.
So we're going to have fun. And like I said, last year we did this, but live in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So
join us.
So
also we're going to be at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference, July the 26th.
What is this? Is this going to be our 5th or 6th year? 5th year?
It's the one they had the first we didn't go to.
Right.
So we went to every one of them since. It's going to be July the 26th. It's also on a Saturday.
Hey, Shell. Watching on Rumble. Let's get ready to rumble.
We're going to be there July 26th. It's always a good time. We'll have some shirts and some books and come on out and see us. And then we're going to be on October the 11th in the month of Spooktober. We're going to be at the Cedar Bluff location of the Knox Public Library.
Yes, we had fun. We did one in February, at the beginning of February.
Yeah.
And they asked us to come back in October, and we said yes.
Yeah, we'll be there. Knox County Library at Cedar Bluff.
Yeah.
2 p.m.
Yep.
October the 11th.
Yeah.
So, we got a little surprise here from a couple of our listeners and friends and followers.
Yeah.
We want to thank a big special thank you to Bird Dog Roy.
Look at this.
For getting us this.
Look at this thing.
Yeah, listen to it, Roy, if you're on here.
I mean, who wouldn't want to hang this up?
Him and Mary, they they got us each one of these to hang up.
Wind chimes. Now this is fantastic.
Yes, and it's got Bigfoot all over it.
On the top, yeah. It's couldn't ask for a better gift than that.
No.
That's awesome.
So
really appreciate it.
Yeah. Just think sitting out in a chair on the deck.
Yes.
That thing ringing around.
Yep.
Cold one in your hand. Also, a guy, we'll name him out. His name is Paul's. His name's Paul. I ain't gonna say his last name.
No,
he might not want to. But he got
what's up,
me
Jeff?
this. Well, you can't see it. Look here.
Oh, it's because it's green.
It's green.
It's the color of the green screen.
Here, hold on a minute. Let's see. Let's look at it now. So you got me this. It's called a emergency Bigfoot. And it's got a bunch of different calls on it. It's got a howl, a snort, a roar, and a groan. See if you can hear it. Yeah.
Go squatch him with that.
So I want to thank Paul for that.
Yeah.
We're going to put that up on the shelf. Not even open it.
Nope. I don't know. We go squatching. We might need to take that with us. And
yeah. We're going to need a bigger speaker.
Roger says wind chimes were originally used to tell when spirits were around.
Wow. Yeah, that would be cool too. Take it to a investigation and
on the inside.
Yeah. Let's just don't put it in front of a vent.
Yeah. So far, most of the places we've been had no power.
Yeah. Well,
some of them anyway.
Roger says he has one of those and love to drive Michelle crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, it makes a racket, man. But it's kind of soothing to me.
I think you might be talking about the Bigfoot call.
Oh, the Bigfoot call?
Yeah. That would.
Yeah,
that'd drive my Michelle crazy.
I was playing it all day at work today.
A buddy of mine got me a kazoo.
Oh gosh.
The first day. Yeah. We was laying in bed and she was trying to go to sleep. And I started playing with it and she's like, shut that thing off. I'm like, I'm just trying to sing you a lullaby. She wasn't appreciative of my lullaby.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Anyway, so tonight we are exploring the Michigan Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be creepy. So the Michigan Triangle.
Roy, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Roy, for the
wind chimes.
The gift.
Yeah, those things are awesome.
We showed it to everybody if you wasn't on here.
Yep.
You and Mary, we appreciate everything you do for us.
Yep.
So the Michigan Triangle, you know, it's a legendary location, and some of you may not have heard of it. It's an area in Lake Michigan where a number of unexplained disappearances of ships, planes, people they've occurred there. And so this triangle is roughly defined by a line connecting Ludington, Michigan to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, then down to Benton Harbor, Michigan, and then back to Ludington. Yeah. You see that?
This is us in the middle. We're the shining light in the middle.
So we're going to start off talking about a few of the disappearances.
All right. Roy says you're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, Roy. David's going to start us off with the disappearances.
Awesome. Le Griffin. This is in 1679.
Le Griffon.
Le Griffon.
You got to put that accent. Le Griffon.
We are talking about the Le Griffon. Now, it is a vessel. It holds the unfortunate distinction of being one of the first recorded disappearances in the Great Lakes. Now, this prominent mystery within the Michigan Triangle, constructed under the orders of French explorer René Robert Cavelier, Sir de la Salle Le Griffon, was intended to be a key part. Did I say that pretty good?
Yeah, I'm glad you got that one.
Rolled it off the tongue. Blah, blah, blah.
You got to use your French.
French. I am not very good with French. To be a key part of a larger expedition to explore the upper Great Lakes and the Mississippi River. Now, in August of 1679, Le Griffon set sail on its maiden voyage. Now, it navigated Lake Erie and Lake Huron, and ultimately reaching Green Bay on Lake Michigan. Now, after acquiring a load of furs, the ship and a small crew began the return journey eastward. Le Griffon departed Green Bay in September 1679. Now, they were heading towards Niagara, and La Salle, who was not on board at the time, had instructed the crew to sail to a designated location while he was continuing his explorations. Now, the ship was carrying a valuable cargo of furs, which was essential for financing La Salle's ambitious plans. Now, shortly after its departure, Le Griffon vanished. There was no distress signals that were ever received, and no confirmed wreckage has ever been definitively identified. Despite numerous searches and claims over the centuries, the loss of the ship and its cargo was a severe blow to La Salle's expedition, disrupting his supply lines and his financial resources. Now, the circumstances surrounding Le Griffon's disappearance have given rise to various theories. Now, none of these have been conclusively proven, but one prevailing theory suggests that the ship was caught in a severe storm, which is a common hazard on the Great Lakes, and it foundered. Now, the unpredictable and often violent weather patterns of Lake Michigan could have easily overwhelmed the vessel of that era. Now, there's another theory that says the crew may have mutinied, seizing the valuable cargo and abandoning the ship or scuttling it to cover their tracks. I don't know, if they're getting paid pretty good, they usually don't mutiny, you know? Now, there's a third theory that involves sabotage or attack by rival fur traders or indigenous groups. Now, the competition for lucrative fur trade was fierce. Some historians speculate that rival factions may have sought to eliminate Le Griffon and its valuable cargo. Additionally, tensions between European explorers and some indigenous tribes were sometimes high. It is possible the ship was attacked. The lack of any surviving crew members or wreckage has made it impossible to determine the true cause.
Yeah, that's crazy. Something that we're going to, talk about too is they've pretty much been over the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
With everything we've got, satellites and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they can't find anything.
Yeah. No wreckage at all.
No wreckage of these things. It's a mystery.
Yeah, that's insane. Now, this, like Jason just says, continues to captivate historians and maritime enthusiasts. It does represent one of the earliest and most enduring enigmas of the Great Lakes. Now, this does symbolize the peril and uncertainties of early exploration and trade in the region. Now, the disappearance of Le Griffon remains a significant part of the lore surrounding the Michigan Triangle, which fuels speculation about all the forces at play in this mysterious body of water. And what's crazy is that there is a lot of stuff like ships gone missing, even planes that go missing, all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah, never to be found.
Yeah.
It's like
gone.
Oof. It's the Bermuda Triangle of Michigan.
Yeah.
Lake Michigan. So another great one that disappeared was Thomas Hume. Now, the Thomas Hume was a 3-mast schooner that disappeared in the lake in May 1891. It was built in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and the Hume was a typical vessel. It used to transport goods across the Great Lakes, mostly lumber. And on its final voyage, the Thomas Hume was sailing from Chicago, Illinois, bound for Muskegon, Michigan. And the ship was carrying no cargo, making it lighter and potentially more susceptible to the weather. And, so the Thomas Hume was sailing in company with another schooner, the Ralph Simmons, which would later become famous as the Christmas tree ship. So
Christmas tree ship.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. The Christmas tree ship. Was it carrying Christmas trees?
I would hope.
Or
it was just lit up like a Christmas tree.
So these two vessels encountered a sudden and severe squall. The Ralph Simmons recognized the danger and decided to turn back to Chicago to seek shelter from the storm. But the Thomas Hume, however, continued on its course, and this decision proved to be fatal, or fateful, as the Thomas Hume was never seen again.
That's it.
And I'm sure everybody's been looking for it. I don't know why they can't find it. It's something sinister out there.
You know what it might be? What if it's a Stargate?
Might be. But this was unlike...
The gold want older ships.
Uh-huh.
To sail in their oceans.
Yeah. So it was unlike other disappearances. It did not send out any distress signals or indicate any problems before vanishing, and the suddenness of its disappearance, coupled with the lack of any wreckage, no debris, no wreckage, no wood, nothing. So the crew of 6 sailors was also lost with the ship.
Interesting.
The absence of any survivors meant that there were no first-hand accounts of what might have happened, and it leaves investigators and historians to speculate about the cause. And there's a lot of theories with this one too.
Right.
The most likely one is that the ship was overwhelmed by a storm, and a ship like the Hume, even if well built, could have been capsized or broken apart by, some big waves. Another possibility is that the ship struck a submerged obstacle or suffered a structural failure, causing it to sink rapidly. In 2006, the wreck of the Thomas Hume was discovered. So they did discover it.
Yes. It was discovered.
Relatively in good condition at the bottom of the lake.
Can you believe that from how many years that was?
Yeah, it's a long
Hello,
time.
Only Oscars.
The discovery provided some closure, but it also raised new questions. The ship's condition suggested it had not been violently destroyed, leading to speculate that it may have sunk relatively intact.
Now, how does that happen?
I don't know.
I mean, we all know that they don't do that usually.
Yeah. So, Thomas Hume remains, a mystery of how it sank, but they did find it.
They did.
In 2006.
And, when it comes to something like that, you see that, it had another ship they were traveling together towards the same place. Mm-hmm. And it got so bad, they're like, nah, we're turning back and going. We're done. Yeah. Because if we keep going, we think that we're going to, get got by the storm or the squall. But it's just like, I got this.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the next one too, I think they discovered it.
Yes.
Or they found it, but I'll let you tell the story.
So now the Rosabelle was a 2-masted schooner that was found capsized in Lake Michigan in 1921. Now, this incident is particularly mysterious due to the circumstances in which the ship was found and the complete disappearance of its crew. Now, the Rosabelle was known for transporting materials to the House of David, which was a religious community located in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Now, the ship had a history of incidents, having been found capsized twice before. I don't think I would have ever been back on that ship.
I think I would have docked it.
Yeah.
And burned it.
Yeah. Use the wood to build another one. Adding to the intrigue surrounding its final fate.
Yeah.
So in 1921, the Rosabelle was discovered floating upside down in Lake Michigan. Again, no. Condition of the ship indicated.
Now, is this the fourth time?
Right. Yeah. Indicated that it had been involved in some kind of collision. Now, there were signs of damage that suggested an impact with another vessel. However, what made this incident so unusual was that no other ships in the area reported any kind of collision. Now, this lack of corroborating evidence raised questions and fueled speculations about what might have actually occurred. I'm saying UFO. USO. Sorry.
I'm not going to say it was aliens because it was aliens.
Wait. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Now, adding to the mystery was a complete absence of the crew. The entire crew had vanished without a trace. There were no bodies found, no debris from the ship that might have indicated their fate. This complete disappearance of the crew is one of the most perplexing aspects of this incident. I don't say blah, blah, blah. It suggests that whatever happened to the Rosabelle, it actually happened pretty quickly and catastrophically, which left the crew with no chance to escape or any way to signal for help. Now, one of the more intriguing details surrounding the Rosabelle involves its captain. Now, according to some accounts, it was an alien. No, I'm just kidding. The captain had a premonition or a feeling of unease about the voyage. I wonder if he did about the other ones. No, I'm just kidding. He reportedly refused.
You know, let me chime in. It done sank twice. It's capsized.
Yeah.
I would get that feeling myself.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like, I want to know how many times they was on the ship and it capsized in between each time it capsizing.
Yeah.
So like every 10th voyage, did it?
I would have got the same feeling, Captain.
Me too. The dilithium chambers are empty, Captain. Now, he had a premonition or a feeling of unease about the voyage. He reportedly refused to board the ship, sensing that something was wrong. Now, this adds a layer of the unexplained to the story, with some suggesting that the captain's intuition may have been a warning of the impending disaster. No, he already knew what was going to happen. For sure.
Yeah.
Now, the disappearance of Rosabelle and its crew remains one of unsolved mysteries of the Michigan Triangle. The lack of any clear explanations, the signs of a collision without another vessel involved, and the complete disappearance of the crew have led to a lot of speculation. Now, the incident has been attributed to everything from unusual weather to more mysterious and unexplained forces, like aliens. Bigfoot did it. He threw a big rock at it. The story of Rosabelle continues to be a source of fascination and speculation, which, is part of the lore of the Michigan Triangle.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy, if you ask me. So it hit something, but no other ship reported being hit.
Right.
There's no iceberg. This isn't the Titanic.
Maybe it hit a USO.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Maybe the Kraken came up and got it. I don't know.
Beware of the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Start beating on the table.
So, Let's talk about Captain George R. Donner.
I wonder if he's part of the Donner Party that ate each other. And I'm just.
So the disappearance of Captain George R. Donner in 1937 is baffling. The Captain Donner was the master of the coal freighter O.M. McFarland. And the circumstances of his disappearance are strange because he vanished from his locked cabin. And this is while the ship was sailing on Lake Michigan.
Now that is interesting.
Vanished from his cabin. That might be, you ever seen that movie Vanished?
How about any alien abduction movie?
Yeah.
What's that one that they show like the movie and the thing at the same time?
The Fourth Kind.
Yeah, where they pull the kid through the ceiling and all that stuff, and they pull.
Yeah, I think that's The Fourth Kind.
Yeah, The Fourth Kind. That's the one.
Yeah.
Right there. That's what happened. The Fourth Kind.
Could be. I mean, I was watching a thing on TV last night about alien abductions, and there's actually a doctor that specifically works for this place that takes the implants out of people. That's what he does.
That's interesting. I know there used to be a guy, what was his name? Stephen Greer, because he does something else when he was a doctor. But anyway, there was somebody that everybody used to use. I wonder if this is the new guy that replaced him, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, it may be, but
that's cool.
I don't know what company. I can't remember what company.
I need to go see about this.
Yeah. I got one right here.
Yeah. Flip it.
Is it magnet? Can you put a magnet on it?
I don't know.
So this incident is unique because it doesn't involve the disappearance of an entire ship, but rather just one single individual. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, this one's pretty neat, if you ask me.
So on the day of his disappearance, Captain Donner had retired to his cabin, which he locked from the inside. He instructed the crew to wake him up when the ship was approaching its destination, which was Port Washington, Wisconsin. The O.M. McFarland was navigating through ice floes on Lake Michigan at the time, and the crew proceeded with their duties unaware that anything was wrong. It was a seemingly routine voyage. No indication of any trouble or danger.
Right.
But when the crew went to wake Captain Donner, they found his cabin door was locked. After receiving no response to their knocks, they became concerned and eventually broke down the door. And guess what? Can you guess? He wasn't in the cabin.
Isn't that crazy?
They searched this entire ship. The crew didn't know what to do. They was alarmed. They was scared. The captains just disappeared. What do we do?
You're like, we can't park this thing without him.
I don't know what I'm doing. Jenny.
I just could get us there. I don't know how to park it.
It'd be like Forrest Gump jumping off that boat for Captain Dan.
Yeah.
So the investigation into Donner's disappearance yielded no answers. The cabin door was locked from the inside, indicating that he had not left through the door. The cabin had 2 portholes, but he was a hefty man. Now we all love
no thin guy, huh?
We all love hefty men,
right?
But Captain Donner was too large to fit through the portholes. There weren't any signs of struggle or any indication of foul play. Donner was not known to be depressed or suicidal, so that just deepened the mystery.
But still, I mean, even if he was depressed or suicidal,
His body would be in there. If
he would have killed himself and been laying in the floor.
But you know what's funny to me? I wonder if it was like one of those old ships or one of those old locks that has the key to lock it from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if it had a keyhole on the outside too. I wonder if he could lock it if he left.
So he left and he locked it from the outside. Then he jumped overboard.
I wonder if they thought about that. It's still mysterious.
His bones are.
It remains a mystery. To this very day, it's difficult to explain how a person could vanish from a locked room on a ship in the middle of a lake.
That makes sense to me.
Here are some of the theories.
All right.
They range from an accident or a medical event.
Okay.
Or did he just disintegrate?
Well, we couldn't say that it was spontaneous human combustion because there's, at least ashes and stuff left.
But there was some explanations involving the paranormal. So the case of Captain Donner is often cited as one of the most inexplicable incidents associated with the Michigan Triangle. And it's highlighting the strange and mysterious events that have occurred in this region.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah, that is. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely insane. Like, hey, I'm going to bed. Wake me up when we get there.
Yeah, something is afoot.
Yes. And it ain't his foot.
No, something's afoot.
This sounds like one of those murder mystery shows is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
What was it? Colonel Mustard in the billiard room with the candlestick.
I could hear him now.
That's what he sounded like as it was leaving him when he jumped off. Now we've got another good one here. Northwest Airlines Flight 2501.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah. Now, this was a Douglas DC-4 aircraft, and it disappeared over Lake Michigan on June 23rd, 1950. Now, the flight was en route from New York City to Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was carrying 55 passengers and 3 crew members. Now, this happened is not significantly only for the loss of life, but also for the complete disappearance of the main wreckage of the aircraft. So despite extensive search efforts, the disappearance of Flight 2501 is very well known among aviation mysteries associated with the Michigan Triangle. Now, the flight progressed normally for most of its journey with routine communication between the pilots and air traffic control. Now, as the aircraft approached Lake Michigan, the pilots requested a change in altitude due to reported thunderstorms. Okay, that makes sense, right? Now, this was a common procedure for pilots at the time, as radar technology was not as advanced as it is today. Now, the last known communication from Flight 2501 was a request to descend to a lower altitude. Hey, can we go higher? No, I'm just kidding. Can I go back lower? Shortly after this last communication, Flight 2501 disappeared from radar. Air traffic controllers were unable to reestablish contact with the aircraft. So there was an extensive search and rescue operation that was launched, which involved the Coast Guard, Navy, and civilian aircraft. Now, in the days following the disappearance, small pieces of debris, including fragments of the aircraft, upholstery, and human remains, were found floating on the surface of the lake. However, the main wreckage of the plane was never located. They should be able to tell from drift and all kinds of stuff like that on where stuff is.
How big is Lake Michigan?
It's pretty big. It's a big, big, big lake.
Well, I don't know.
All those lakes are very
Looks like
big.
they would have found it by now with all the technology we have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no way. Well, I mean, I guess there is, but you would think that they would have for sure. Now, the lack of a complete wreckage has made it difficult to determine the exact cause of the crash. But the prevailing theory is that the aircraft encountered severe turbulence and thunderstorms, which led to a catastrophic structural failure. The rapid disintegration of the aircraft would explain the wide dispersal of the debris field and the difficulty in locating the main wreckage. However, other theories have been proposed, including pilot error, mechanical failure, and even more speculative, involving unusual phenomena. Well, you changed it, didn't you? You changed it on me. I don't have my button. That's unusual phenomenon.
I think it was the German death ray.
German. Tesla death ray?
Didn't Germany have a death ray they was trying out?
I don't know.
Or that big old cannon they had? I don't know. I think it was Germany.
Think so?
Yeah.
Now, the Flight 2501 is and has been a mystery. The large loss of life, the lack of a definitive explanation, and the mystery that surrounds all the missing wreckage. Now, this incident is a significant part of the lore surrounding the Michigan Triangle. The case continues to be studied and investigated, with ongoing efforts to locate the main wreckage and provide closure with families of the victims. The story of Flight 2501 serves as a reminder of how unpredictable the nature of air travel and the enduring power of the mysteries of Lake Michigan are. Right?
Yeah. Definitely mysterious. So let's just go over some explanations.
Yes.
That could have happened. A lot of theorists attempt to explain these mysteries of the Michigan Triangle, ranging from natural causes to the paranormal.
I'm sorry.
What do you think it is?
What do I don't know. It's like any of these things.
You've been through the Bermuda Triangle, no problem.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I think it's swamp gas. Or swamp ass. I mean gas.
The swamp gas. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to like a lot of these areas like this, you end up getting a lot of things that go wrong. And I think a lot of it is pilot error. I think that there's some explained reasons of why some of this stuff, right? Like, we know the one ship followed the other ship and it decided to turn back because it was like, nah, we ain't going to do this, right?
Right.
So we know that a lot of this could be stuff like that. But when a man locks himself in a room and is never seen again.
Yeah, on the middle of a big old lake.
Yeah.
Unless he took a lifeboat. But none was missing.
That's mysterious as it gets. I mean, and look, we all know that UFOs can traverse the oceans just as well as they do space, just as well. I mean, they're transmedium.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have missing people, you have a ship that got hit by something, but nothing around got hit. Right? There was nothing, no other ships around to get hit.
Yeah. So
when you have some of these kinds of unexplained things that happen, then you're like, what's going on? Have you ever watched the movie? It's a much older movie, Bruce Willis. Was it the 9 Monkeys or something like that?
It's been a long time.
Remember what they did in that movie? Because they needed more people in their time. And then he was going back to try to stop the plague and all that stuff. But also, what they would do, like just before a plane crash would happen, they would come in, get all the people off.
Yeah.
Replace them with other people, then let the plane go down, and then those people would go to the future. What if something like that ain't happening?
Maybe it might be a what they call that? Exchange program.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's talked about in ufology, the
Yeah.
exchange program and abduction.
Yep.
Something to think about.
Yeah. I think it's interesting anyway, if nothing else. But I mean, there's all kinds of things that could cause stuff like that. All kinds of stuff, and like we talked about a little bit earlier, you have just these crazy squalls and storms that'll just come out of nowhere on those lakes.
A lot of weather changes.
Yeah.
And I'd say, I wonder how big waves get in Michigan.
I don't know. I bet you could Google it.
I guess it's so big that it's not like a normal lake, right? It's like a small ocean.
Ah, yes. Yeah, it is. Well, I mean,
I think the moon's
tides. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has tides and stuff.
Yep.
So it's crazy. So you got sudden storms and rogue waves.
Yep.
It could have been strong currents.
Yep.
Magnetic anomalies. There could be some unusual magnetic fields in the area, which we're going to get into in just a few minutes.
Yes.
It could interfere with their navigation equipment. Lake Michigan has a westward magnetic declination of 4 to 5 degrees on average.
Huh.
So
that's interesting.
It's an anomaly. So you could have had lake effect snow.
Yeah. And that stuff can just fall, just boom, and just be heavy, and which can also hinder a lot of things.
But then again, you have the other side, and David.
Some of my favorite stuff, UFOs, USOs, which are the same thing. They're just submerged.
Yeah.
Now, there have been alleged sightings of strange objects in the sky and water in the vicinity of the triangle, particularly around the time of Flight 2501's disappearance. So, again, a lot of alleged strange objects in the sky and in the water.
Yeah, and right at the time of that flight disappearing.
Yep.
Maybe it collided with something.
Well, like they said, the onboard sensors and stuff weren't as good as what they are today, of course. And so they wouldn't probably get all these warnings like these things do today that something's on a collision course with them. And look, we still have mid-air collisions and stuff that happen all the time. So
I like this next one.
Energy vortexes.
We do know that these exist on this earth.
Yep.
They have evidence, and a lot of it with these energy vortexes. You know that one place where you can go where everything's level with a level, but when you walk on it, you're like walking sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember where that place is at, but it's kind of weird.
I think they've got one that's it's like up in Washington somewhere or something like that.
I think that's where it's at.
Yeah. Now, the energy vortexes, some believe that the triangle is a negative energy vortex. So it's a place that emits energy. Now, this theory is sometimes linked to ley lines.
Yeah.
One of which allegedly runs down the middle of Lake Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. So this is where we want to get to a discovery.
Yes.
That happened in Lake Michigan.
Yes.
It's called the North American Stonehenge. So this discovery is of a prehistoric stone structure resembling Stonehenge, and it's at the bottom of Lake Michigan. And this has fueled a lot of theories about what's going on there.
Right. At least it wasn't a pyramid.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a pyramid.
That's what you hear a lot of Bermuda Triangle. There's a glass pyramid under there. You see it all over the place.
I know. I wonder if that's true.
Yeah. If it was, that would call. Nah. You can't see it because it's glass. No.
So this structure was found in 2007, which
It's not too awful long ago.
no,
Not even 20 years ago. So
307 miles long and 118 miles wide is the size of Lake Michigan.
wow,
It's huge.
that's big.
It's huge.
That's huge, huge, huge. I tell you.
So this structure was found in 2007 by Mark Hawley, who is an underwater archaeology professor at Northwestern Michigan University. And he was searching for shipwrecks in the Grand Traverse Bay. So this site that he found includes a series of stones arranged in a circle, similar to England Stonehenge, but it's a little smaller. And one of the notable stones appears to have a carving of a mastodon on it.
Whoa.
That's wild. That's old.
Yeah, they've been extinct for a while now, like
That's
8, 9, 10,000 years, something like that.
That's, what a mastodon is. It's a distinct, or it's extinct, and it was like the elephants with the big tusks and hair. Was that like the woolly mammoth?
Kind of, yeah. They're a little bit different.
Yeah. So the stones are estimated to be around 9,000 years old. And that significantly predates the construction of Stonehenge. That's wild.
Maybe they were built before.
Well,
but we don't know how old Stonehenge is either. Really.
I don't know if they found, dated it or not, but so this structure is located in the Grand Traverse Bay, which is part of Lake Michigan off the coast of Traverse City, Michigan. And to protect the site from damage, the precise location hasn't been publicized. So Hawley first revealed the site to the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa tribes.
That's interesting.
And the age of the stones suggests they were placed there after the last ice age, a long time ago.
Yep.
So that's when the lake bed was not yet submerged. Crazy, right?
Yeah. So that almost goes back to antediluvian. That's before the flood, and
well, that would be before the ice age. I might have that backwards.
No, it was right
after the ice age.
Yep. That's when everything was starting to melt, and then water started rising.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Wonder how deep that is.
I don't know. That would be pretty interesting to know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still not so deep that you can't get down there, because they dove it. So
yeah, even to see a carving,
that would be cool.
That would be. I bet there's a lot more carvings on it. So the purpose of the structure is still a matter of speculation. Some scientists may have suggested it was a hunting structure, similar to the Caribou Drive lanes found elsewhere, while others say it may have had a ceremonial or calendric. Say that word for me. Calendricular
function.
Blah, blah, blah. A calendar function.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. That's funny.
So it consists of an outer ring, approximately 40 feet, and an inner ring, it's about 20 feet. So the stones themselves formed from the local granite.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a dense material.
Yeah.
So it would be hard to even carve on.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. Ain't using bone tools for that.
We need to research that a little more and see if they found anything recently with that. Need to follow his work, because that's wild.
Need to get him on.
Yeah. 307 miles long and 118 miles wide. Odd. A lake in the middle of nowhere.
It only attaches to the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know you could go through all 3 Great Lakes and hit the Mississippi River and then come all the way back down to Florida?
Right. But it didn't exist, right? Before.
What, the Great Lakes?
Yeah.
Before.
The lake bed was dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that most of that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, did happen after the melting of the ice.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So let's face it. We're drawn to mysteries because they humble us. Now, the Michigan Triangle isn't just a story. It is a riddle that refuses to die. Now, in an age of satellites, sonar, how does a single stretch of Lake Michigan still hide planes, ships, and captains like George Donner without a trace?
Yeah, that's wild.
Why do structures that resemble ancient monuments lurk beneath its waves?
Only 23 feet deep.
Yeah, see, that's not bad.
That ain't, you could swim in that.
Yeah.
You could dive down to the bottom of that with nothing.
Yep.
Snorkel.
That's it. Snorkel. Now, the truth is the triangle doesn't play by our rules. It mocks logic. It thrives in the gaps between storm explanations and UFO rumors, between history books and campfire tales. Maybe that's its lesson. Not every question needs an answer. Some exist just to remind us that wonder is just as vital as facts. So let's not end with closure, but with curiosity. Let the vanishings of Flight 2501 and the Rosa Bell linger in your mind. Let the lake's secrets whisper, what if? After all, as Lovecraft said, fear of the unknown is humanity's oldest emotion, but so is wonder. And wonder that where is the next chapter begin?
So, that being said, I don't think anything's went missing in a while there.
Yep.
Maybe it comes in spurts.
So does the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
It happens periodically. I want to remind everybody, and I should do this at the beginning of the show, we do have quite a few stories up on our website.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these shows, like this one tonight, excuse me if you miss it, if you don't get it all or you want to actually go through and read, we end up taking everything we talk about and putting it on the website as a blog.
Yeah, it's transcript
Yep.
of the whole show.
Yep. Without the David said this or the Jason said that kind of stuff.
It's aliens, I tell you.
It's aliens. But we put it up and then you could read it, and we've got tons of them. And I mean tons of them. So this one tonight will be on there also. So just in case you might want to take a gander at it later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Stramyard.
Yeah, I'm trying to get us $10.
Woo!
No, I think it's like $25 if somebody clicks on that.
Man.
Of course, it's credit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, if you're new to streaming or looking to level up, check out Stramyard. That's where we do all our shows, and you get a discount too if you click on this link from Paranormal 411.
Click on that link. This was a good show.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean,
there was a listener that sent us the thought for the show, if you remember.
Yes.
So if you have a thought for a show that you want us to do, definitely hit us up. What? I had no idea. No idea of what.
I don't know.
Are we that far behind on Rumble, maybe?
I don't know.
Man,
Might be.
that sucks. So again, we want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. We got a great show this Saturday. Show up.
Yes,
you want to be here. Be here for sure for Saturday's show. We're going to be talking some Bigfoot, some Sasquatching. Right?
Yes, we're going to be talking with Scott. And I don't know if Hannah's going to be on with him or not, but Scott Violet.
He was on the show about, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah. From Squatch America. He's got a new book out, and we're going to be talking about it.
Yes. Yep.
It's the first of many books.
Yeah. Scott is a really cool dude. He's a anthropologist, and that's how he got turned on to Bigfoot, was through working with indigenous peoples and stuff, and then their tales and everything else. And definitely check it out this Saturday. Again, it'll be 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. will be our show this Saturday. So definitely join us.
Yeah, he, like David said, he's like a tribal anthropologist, like a Native American, and his wife is a sociology and communications person, and they combine that to do all this research.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They drive around everywhere, so there'll be hot spots and they'll over to it and try to do some research. Scott's a really cool guy, and I'm glad we could have him come back onto the show again, and to get him to come back on this soon is amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you just called him up and said, "Hey,
yeah,
can you do a show?" And he said, "About Saturday."
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I was like, "Hey, would you like to do a show with us again?" And everything. It's been a while, and he's like, "Yep, this Saturday's good." And I'm like, "Whoa, are you sure this Saturday?" And he's like, "Yep." Like, you got it. So,
all right,
Mr. Scott Violet. He's a really good guy. So, enjoy our talks with him. You ready?
We ready.
Oh man. Remember, you can find us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Tune in live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Also from 8 to 10 p.m. on Saturdays. Remember, Saturdays from 10 to 11, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you catch us at WDJY-FM. That's 99.1 FM. But that's all right if you're outside of Atlanta. You can still listen to the show at WDJYFM.com, or you go to paranormal411.org and click on the link. Remember, we're also on Subspace Radio on all major podcast platforms. We've got a book out, everybody. East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. That's East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. It's available on Amazon, or you go to paranormal411.org. Click the link. Join us. Join us. See you this Saturday.
Yeah.
Scott Violet.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
Have you ever wondered what lurks in the shadows? What secrets the night hides? What strange phenomena might be happening just beyond your perception? Join us as we journey into the world of the paranormal, exploring everything from ghosts and UFOs to cryptids and unexplained occurrences. From haunted houses to all things paranormal, join us in the search for the truth behind the veil. Welcome to Paranormal 411.